Let's see. What is up? As you come in, let me know that you can hear and see me by putting where you're signing in from in the chat box. What is up, y'all? Woo, child. Getting on live was a lot today. So as you come in, let me know if you can hear and see me by putting where you're signing in from in the chat box. I see some thumbs ups going. Sorry for the delay today. Hustle Talks is supposed to be at 8 p.m. And usually I'm like maybe 2-3 minutes late, but today I had to reschedule it to 8:15. And it actually ties in with what we're talking about tonight, which is hilarious. Hilariously hilarious how God works, right? Because I could have made an excuse and not showed up today, but I'm still here. And I'm about to explain what made me late today, like what made me show up at 8:20 versus 8 o'clock. Hey, Kayla, checking in from Wisconsin. Thanks for letting me know that you can hear and see me. As you're coming in, let me know where you're signing in from so I can make sure that you can hear and see me. Today is, or I should say tonight is going to be a really good episode of Hustle Talks because I feel like a lot of y'all have been making excuses lately. Not only that, but some things that I have been observing just around my life and around people I know and around either my audience and things like that. I just know that y'all got some excuses going on and I want to nip that in the bud this evening. Hey, Gina. Yes, I made it. So ironically, right, I'm going to share this story before I get into the meat and potatoes because it has something to do with the whole excuses thing. And when I tell you that God will test you out and you got to pass that test to be able to unlock whatever the blessing or the next level is, you got to be able to push through. And sometimes we let excuses stop us. Y'all, so I live in Atlanta, in South Atlanta, right? And it was storming over here for the past 2 hours and our electricity cut off 3 times. And so what happens when it cuts off, obviously, everything reboots, right? So everything from the lights to the internet to my computer, everything reboots. And I have an iMac with a second screen. When I go to start up my iMac, I don't know if it's just my iMac. I don't know if this is all iMacs across the globe, but my iMac is the slowest computer ever known to man when it comes to rebooting. Okay. So I came in here, I came upstairs. For some reason, it didn't dawn on me that my computer had shut off. So I came upstairs maybe around like 7:45. I'm like, I'm gonna be early today because I got things to do. I'm gonna be early today. So that way I can deliver this message, connect with my people, and go about my business to do what I need to do. I came up here at 7:45, realized my computer was pitch black, and I was like, oh, freaking shoot. My computer shut off. And the computer doesn't reboot on its own. You have to manually push the button for it to start back up. So I manually pushed the button. It's taking its sweet time. If you have an Apple device, you know the loading bar that comes up. It's a black screen with a white apple, and it has a loading bar. And it's just moving like a millisecond every 5 minutes. That's what it feels like. It is like watching paint dry. So I had to leave. I leave the office to go do something to take my mind off of it. I come back at 7:55. It's maybe like 30% of the way through. I said, okay, let me open up my laptop and let me reschedule this to 8:15. Reschedule it to 8:15. I come back in here, check on my computer, and then I log in. Logging in is half of the battle. Once I have logged in, right, the computer now needs time to load all of the apps. It needs time to kind of like catch itself. So I logged in. It has to be like 8:02 at this point, and my computer is taking its sweet time to start everything up. And if you've watched any of my previous Hustle Talks, you know that one of the upgrades I made toward my better each week is that I actually got a full software to go live on. So that way my videos are higher quality, but also so that if I want to share my screen, I can. If I want to share slides, I can. If I want to put a picture up on the screen, I can. And so I had to start this software up. My computer took its time. And so here we are starting Hustle Talks at 8:20 when I could have just used the excuse that it's storming and my lights went out and canceled Hustle Talks. I could have did that, but instead I decided to push through and not use that excuse, right? I took charge of what I could and I made it happen. So I know that Kayla said she's definitely been being tested lately and she's been using excuses a little bit. So thank you for being honest, Kayla. Hey, Cheyenne. Thank you so much. I got my hair done today. And surprisingly, it's not extremely tight. I like it. I had her put it up in a bun. So that way, when I go to the airport tomorrow, I'm not struggling with this long hair because it's like butt length. But thank you. I really love it. It's what is this? It's knotless with boho. I haven't had braids in so long. So it kind of feels weird looking at myself in the mirror, seeing myself with braids. But I got braids because tomorrow I actually leave and I don't come back for 2 weeks. So my first destination is Punta Cana, and I am going there for a mastermind. And once again, if you have watched any of the previous episodes of Hustle Talks, I've mentioned this mastermind. I've mentioned the 10K investment. If you watch the funding one about how to get funding for your business when you feel like you have no money, I mentioned the $10,000 investment and ways that you can actually get funding for your business. This is the mastermind. So it's finally time. I felt like that episode was so long ago, and now it's actually here. I leave tomorrow to the Dominican Republic to spend, what is it? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 5 days with millionaires, y'all. Isn't that insane? Like, what would you invest to spend 5 days with millionaires? Put a number in the chat. Did I freeze? Y'all can still see and hear me? Hey, Althea. Can y'all still see and hear me? Let me know. Let me know. Let me know before I continue. Can y'all still see and hear me? Am I frozen? It's good now? Okay. Good. Good. Hey, Vicky. Vicky's checking in from Los Angeles. All right, perfect. Perfect. So I was saying, put an amount in the chat box or the comment section, letting me know how much you would invest to spend 5 days in a tropical destination with millionaires. Let me know. Put a number in the chat. How much would you invest to spend 5 days picking the brains of millionaires, discussing next level ideas with people who are making 6 figures in a month, $100,000 months, with people who are breaking barriers, achieving their goals, millionaires, learning from people who've been there, done that? What would you invest? Just put a number in the chat. Hey, Stevie. Put a number in the chat. Let's see what numbers y'all say in the chat. Let me see. My thing is really slow today, and I don't know why. Cheyenne said, are you going to Invest Fest too? I might. Probably am. My friend is an exhibitor there this year, so I'm probably going to go. I haven't gotten my ticket yet, though. I need to, so thank you for reminding me. Vicky said, I will invest thousands per day. Kayla said, all inclusive? Yes. So breakfast, lunch, and dinner is included. Alcohol isn't included though, but your stay at a luxurious house. I'm talking huge house. You have access to an amazing pool with views. I believe it's like in a golf or beach community. It's amazing. Stevie said, that's priceless. Hey, the Found Empress. Exactly, right? I invested $10,000 to go, and I am excited. And let me tell y'all, The reason I wanted to do this topic here tonight, because it was a different topic. When I mapped out my full calendar for August, it was a completely different topic that I was supposed to talk about tonight. But I specifically felt led to talk about excuses and about self-sabotage because of just like the things I've been experiencing. So one, I go on this trip tomorrow, and after this trip, it's my mother-in-law's birthday the following week, and she really wants to do something. We really wanted her to do something because we're all getting older. Our parents are getting older. We want them to experience things. And so one of the things that she wanted to do was to go on a trip or a cruise, whatever. We voted on going to Puerto Rico. But when we looked at the dates, we were trying to figure out how could it work, because I was going to be gone from tomorrow all the way through Saturday. Flights were not flighting. And if they were flighting, they were outrageous. I'm talking about $1,000 to take me from DR back here and then to pay for another flight to go back to Puerto Rico. It was a lot of kinks, right? But instead of making excuses, Andy and I we sat down and we mapped out a plan. So now what's happening is I'm flying to DR tomorrow. From DR on Saturday afternoon, I fly straight to Puerto Rico. I stay there for 2 nights in a hotel. Andy's going to meet me down there and we're going to hang out. And then my mom, my dad, his mom, his dad, our siblings, they fly in on Monday, and then we're there in Puerto Rico for that week. Now, another obstacle that came up was that my friend wants to celebrate her birthday in Miami. Now, this is not a friend that you just want to like shove off or say no to, because when I tell you that this friend shows up to everything for me, she shows up to everything, and she doesn't even live in the United States. So she's flying internationally to show up to anything when it comes to celebrating a milestone with me. So I had to be there. So now I'm like, okay, well, I still can't come back home. I got to fly from San Juan to Miami, and I just got to figure it out, right? So I am literally leaving for 2 weeks and a couple of days because I chose not to make excuses. I chose to, one, show up for my business and invest 10K in a trip, two, show up for my family and invest more money in a trip, but also sacrifice like the time and the comfort of coming back home. And then three, to not disappoint someone who has been there for me. And that's what the third stop, which is my friend in Miami, right? So I want you to like ask yourself, if you were put in my predicament where you had these 3 options in front of you, or these 3 trips in front of you, each with a different, what I want to say, like a different reasoning tied to them, or each of them with a different value, would you have made the same decision? Or would you have said, I'm only going to make it to one, or I'm just not going to make it to all because I can't do it. I can't find the flights. I don't want to do this. I don't got the time. Like, I don't have this. I don't have that, right? Many of us make excuses versus actually showing up for ourselves in a way that actually matters. So I know that showing up and investing this 10K and spending these 5 days with other people who are either on a similar level or above me is going to change my life. I don't care if it's one piece of information that I take away from that changes my life. It changed my life, right? A lot of times we think that because we're investing a certain amount in something, that there's some golden pot of gems that just needs to continuously flow to us. Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it literally can be one thing that's worth millions of dollars to you. One thing, kind of like having the right key for the lock. You could be struggling in one specific area and someone can literally be holding the answer for you. But because you continue to make excuses, you never find the right key. I will invest whatever it takes to make sure that I get the right key. If investing whatever amount in time and in money means that I will have endless blessings, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. At the end of the day, God forbid, this could be my friend's last time celebrating her birthday. How bad would it feel if I made an excuse stop me from being there to celebrate someone who has been for me the entire time? How bad would I feel if I made an excuse to celebrate with my family and now they didn't get to enjoy a vacation, right? They didn't get you, like you didn't get to enjoy anything with, you didn't even attempt, right? You made an excuse. Think about how that will feel down the line. A lot of times we're making excuses for how we feel right now, and we're not thinking about the end result of these things. That's one of the things that happened to me that had me think about this topic tonight. The second thing I already shared when I told you that my lights went out 3 times today and I still showed up, right? The third thing that happened, and I made sure I wrote this down, is I shared a new video. I uploaded a new vlog today. If you watched it, put I watched it in the chat or in the comments. If you watched it, put I watched it. And if you missed it, make sure you go watch it after this live. I uploaded a vlog, and in that vlog, I shared where I've been, what I've been dealing with, and what my comeback plan is, what my action plan is. That vlog is important because during the last, maybe 18 minutes of it, I really sit down and I pour out what my next steps are. Never do you hear me make an excuse. What I actually do in that part of the video is I say, although some things seemed like it was out of my control, I am still taking responsibility for certain things that happened, right? Stevie said I watched it. Yes, you are a true hustle babe. I know that's right. Gina watched it. I knew you watched it, Gina. Cheyenne said I would make it to all. I know you would, Cheyenne. You need to be at this event happening in the fall, actually. Make sure you're at my event. It's an intimate event. I'm only selling, I think we said 30 tickets. So I'll give you the info on that. My mom said she didn't see it. Shame on you. Kayla didn't see it. Make sure you watch it after this, right? But never did I make an excuse. In that vlog, I shared health things that happened to me. I shared mental blocks that I had. I shared a lot of things, right, that could have stopped me. But instead of making an excuse, I took responsibility for it. So that was the third thing that made me want to talk about this tonight. The fourth thing that made me want to talk about this tonight is actually you, right? It's you watching this right now. You're the reason why I wanted to talk about this tonight. And there's 2 types of people that are watching this right now. There is the one type of person who is watching this and continues to make excuses time and time again. You continue to block your blessings. You continue to stop yourself from your dreams because you continue to make excuses. Then there's the other type of person. You're the person who you've invested in a program of mine. You've invested in working with me one-on-one. You've invested in yourself in other ways. You've invested, right? And you know that although things may happen, you don't let them become a roadblock for you. And what really made me think about you guys is that I opened up the enrollment for the Ultimate Launch course, maybe 3-4 days ago, right? I believe it was Friday morning. And we are at the point where we have less than 10 slots left. Now, here is what makes this interesting. Everyone who has signed up for the Ultimate Launch course that thus far, so everyone who has signed up for this intensive program, because I know some people get confused when I say course, they think it's just a class, and I'm actually going to talk about that. But the people who have signed up for this launch program, this program that's teaching you how to build a brand and launch or relaunch, everyone thus far, and remember I said I have less than 10 spots left, has paid in full. Isn't that crazy? It shocked me. I told my coach last week when I noticed when we had first opened it and the first, I think 2 or 3 people signed up and they paid in full. I said, oh, I didn't expect that. I expected so many people to sign up for the payment plan. And she was like, duh, it's a no-brainer. Of course they would pay in full. But even then, even after she told me that, now that I see everyone has, that's crazy. But you know what that tells me? That tells me that these are individuals who don't make excuses. They make a way. So I'm sure there's someone that invested in ULC who maybe didn't have the full 99.7 at their disposal, but they figured it out. They either used the affirm option, used the afterpay option, hit up somebody that they know could let them borrow $100 or two, move some stuff around, and they made it happen. Earlier, I asked you what you would have invested to be in a house filled with people who are next level, filled with people who are making 6 figures a month, filled with millionaires, learning from a coach that makes millions of dollars every single year, learning from a coach that has been there, done that. How much would you invest in that? Somebody said it will be priceless. Somebody said a couple thousand. You know, I invested $10K to do that. And it's ironic that you will let $9.97 stop you from tapping into the mind of somebody who's about to be with a group of millionaires. That's insane to me. If I saw that, I'm grabbing it. Like right off the bat, I am grabbing it, or I am making a way to grab it. This 10K at the time wasn't at my disposal because it came at a time where I was just coming back into my business, right? I had been gone for 30 days. I was coming back into my business. I had to get back into the groove. I didn't have 10K to just invest in something, but I moved some things around. I shook a little leg or two, right? And I got the money for it. No excuses. So, with that being said, that's what brought me up to this topic today, y'all. So I want to dive into this topic, but before I dive into this topic, I want to make sure that y'all are still here with me. So if you are here with me, I want you to grab something to write with, a pen, a pencil, a sheet of paper. Grab something to write with. And then once you have that tool to write with, put a paper emoji in the chat. Do they have paper emojis? No, put a pen emoji in the chat. So once you got your pen and your paper, put a pen emoji or a pencil emoji or a writing emoji in the chat. And if you don't have emojis, put I'm ready. Okay? So grab yourself a sheet of paper, a pencil, or a pen, and then put a writing emoji in the chat when you're ready, or put I'm ready in the chat. And you're going to need this. This is not just to take notes. We're about to do a little activity together, okay? Cheyenne said, I watched it. Why didn't you comment so I know you watched it? Side note, when you watch any of my videos, please comment, like it. It helps the algorithm, especially now that I am getting back in the groove. Especially if you watch that video, I mentioned getting back in the groove. Support it by commenting, liking. Even if you're just putting like fire emojis and saying, I'm supporting you, Chanel. Whatever it is that you want to say, just to help the algorithm so that way I could get back to the top, okay? It helps a lot. And I notice the people who support me before my videos get back to 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 views. I'm going to notice the people who are watching and supporting now that I'm getting back in the groove. So please comment and like. All right. I see a couple people saying that they are ready. Perfect. Hey, Kiara. Hey, Malaysia. All right, so now what I want you to do is I want you to draw a line, a straight line, as straight as it could be. Draw a line on that sheet of paper. Okay? Draw a line. I see what you said, Stevie. I'm going to respond to that in a second. draw a line, and then on the line, I want you to put 3 dots. You're going to put a dot at the beginning of the line, a dot at the end of the line, and then a dot in the middle. Okay? Draw a line. Put 3 dots, one at each end, and then one in the middle. Okay? Now, once you've done that, comment done. Once you've done that, comment done. Once you're done drawing the line with the 3 dots, comment done. Let me know when you've done that. Okay, this is a fun little activity that I love to do. Let me start my screen share because I want to share something. All right. Let me see. Okay, I see done in the chat. Perfect. Now what I want you to do is the dot all the way to the left, I want you to put here on it. So like you're here, you know those signs when you look at a map, it'll say you're here. Put that on the dot all the way to the left. Put you're here. Now on the dot all the way to the right, put my desired life or my ultimate life. So on the left dot, put I'm here. On the furthest right dot, put my desired life. All right? Y'all got that? So you're going to draw a straight line. You're going to put 3 dots, one on the left, one on the right, one smack in the middle. On the left dot, you're going to put I'm here. On the right dot, you're going to put my desired life. And then smack dab in the middle, you're going to put my excuses. Y'all did that? When you're done with that, let me know in the chat box. Let me know in the chat box. Let me know in the comments. What did you just realize? Let me know. So when you're done doing that, let me know what you just realized in the comment box. And see, tonight, I wanted to be really conversational because one of the things that I was intentional about doing tonight is I said I wanted to know what was stopping you in particular, and I want to help you get over that. So it's not like my other ones, like my other episodes where I come with a full outline. I got like maybe 5 bullet points that I want to touch on, right? It's like one page, right? It's one little page. But tonight, we're really talking about you. Okay? So let me know what you realized. I see Stevie laughing. Stevie, what'd you realize? Let me know what you just noticed after drawing this line and putting the 3 dots and putting where you are and putting your desired life. What did you realize? Kayla said, not gonna lie, when you went live tonight, I was literally watching your startup course bundle I bought last year. Wow. Last year? Oh my gosh. And the launch program is like 10 times better. So Kayla, if you want to be a part of the Ultimate Launch Course round 2, let me know. And what I'll do is I will prorate the investment for you by putting whatever you invested in that startup course basically like discounting the ultimate launch course for you by that much. So I don't remember how much that was. If it was 300, I'll take 300 off of what the cost is for the ultimate launch course. That way you can join this program, because the program is 100 times more rigorous and in-depth than that startup course. And since you're just starting it this year, you definitely need some hand holding and you need that accountability. And that's what the ultimate launch course gives you. Okay. You get accountability for 6 whole months. So let me know if you're interested in that, and I'll send you the discount. I have someone email it to you, okay? All right, so let's see what y'all realize. Vicky said, my excuses are made up in my mind. Ooh, that's a bar, right? When you draw this line and you realize how far it is from where you are now to where you want to be, that's one thing. But when you realize that you keep getting stopped, it might not be in the middle. Heck, it might be a quarter of the way there. You keep getting stopped by your own mind. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? By your own mind. The mind is a powerful thing. What you believe is what happens, okay? What you believe is what you conceive. There's a reason why every single day I make it my mission. And for those who watch the vlog, I talked about this. I say what I'm grateful for now. I started doing this, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago. And ever since, the best things start happening because I'm changing my mind. Not only that, but I'm intentional about my affirmations. I shared an affirmation on a previous episode where I said that I am capable of figuring it out. I am also capable of executing even when it seems overwhelming. What I believe, it happens. When you believe that you can't do it, or when you believe that an excuse is bigger than the result that you can get, that's when things don't work out in your favor. I'm going to give you another obstacle that came in my way recently, which is right on par with this topic, right? Something else that happened is I just spent a lot of money to go hang out with some millionaires for 5 days in a tropical destination with all food included, all the things, right? I just invested this amount. Of course, I want to look fly. My husband literally was someone who helped me with the investment because I didn't have it at the time, right? I told y'all that I was just bouncing back. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna help you with it. And he said, I want you to get your money's worth. I want you to leave this mastermind mind blown. I want you to come back so action oriented that you are going to blow everything out the water. We made a goal that 10K I'm going to make back within a month after the mastermind. And if we're being quite honest, I mean, I've already made 10K since whenever we had to invest it, made more than that, right? But the whole point is, okay, after the mastermind, let's see how long it takes you to make that 10K back, because we're going to use that as the point. But the point is, right? He was like, I want you to go and be your best self. And it just happened to align with when I want to get back. When I want to get back posting content, right? It just so happened when I wanted to get back with posting content. And so obviously, if I'm in this nice house, we're talking about 9 bedrooms with an infinity pool, this beautiful mansion. Of course, I want to take pictures. Of course, I want to record videos. Of course, I want to create content for social media, right? And so what that means that my outfit's got to be fly. My outfit's got to be on point. So what did I do? I head over to Fashion Nova. I always shop on the Nova. I feel like it's because I'm always pressed for time, and Fashion Nova just ships at a speed that they understand, right? So I went, I put all my outfits together on a mood board on Canva, and then I went to find all the pieces on Fashion Nova, all the accessories, added it to cart, all the things, right? So here I am on Friday. Friday was what? I don't know, the 4th? Here I am on Friday, the 4th. I know that Fashion Nova's cutoff time is 3 p.m. in order for them to ship it next day. Fashion Nova had recently started shipping on Saturday, so I'm thinking, I'm going to get it on Saturday. I have enough time. It's like, 2 days of buffer room. I'm good. They don't do Saturday delivery anymore. So now I'm like, all right, no problem. If I get it in by 3, it says it's going to get here on Monday. Y'all, it is 2:58. I'm checking out. My computer starts glitching. My laptop is glitching. It starts to move like a turtle. I don't end up hitting the checkout, like the complete purchase button, until like 3:04 or 3:05. I don't remember. I was devastated because as I was hitting the purchase button, the date automatically updated in front of my eyes and it said Tuesday. Tuesday. I leave on Tuesday. My flight is at like 8:30 a.m. and it's international, so I got to be there 3 hours before. I can't and I won't receive this package in time if it comes on Tuesday. So I immediately start panicking. I am sad. And guess what? I'm not making an excuse. I don't blame my computer. I don't blame my husband for irritating me. Not irritating me. I'm just kidding. He was asking me a bunch of questions when I was trying to shop. That I'm like, okay, go away. I don't blame my dog for doing something dumb and distracting me for 10 whole minutes. I don't blame anybody. I say, dang, I should have shopped earlier. I wish I shopped earlier, and now I'm mad at myself for not doing this earlier and at least maybe even mapping out my outfits earlier and doing half of the work before today. I'm mad at myself, right? I'm not making an excuse. And so what I then do is I come up with a game plan. I say, all right, I know Amazon ships same day, next day, Saturday, Sunday, every day. So let me go see if I could find some alternatives on Amazon. Also, let me actually dig through my closet and see what I got to wear because I always want to buy new things and I don't want to wear what I have. So I said, let me see what I could piece together with a mixture of Amazon and what's in my closet. I then sit down and spend hours making a whole new mood board. The additional thing that I do is I then find a Fashion Nova email and I also go on their contact us page and click a bunch of buttons until it gets me to the point where I can talk to someone. Y'all still with me? And then I send an email to Fashion Nova saying, hey, I meant to check out before 3 o'clock. It didn't happen. I'm going on this trip on Tuesday. I really need it. The person writes me back and say, well, they're already packing your order, so it's nothing that we can actually do about it. It's going to come on Tuesday. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now, that's what the person said to me, but I feel like the person went and did something completely different because I kept checking, right, the tracking, and then I noticed that something happened. They ended up putting it out for UPS to pick up on Saturday. UPS picks it up. It still says that it's delivering on Tuesday. I check again throughout the day on Saturday. They haven't picked it up yet. I then check on yesterday, and I realized that UPS not only picked up my package, but now has updated my delivery date to today, Monday. I wake up this morning and I say, oh, am I tripping? Is it actually going to come today? And guess what it says? It says out for delivery. The craziest thing is yesterday when I checked, it actually said that it was in Georgia. And it blew my mind because I ordered at 3:04, past their cutoff time. The representative I reached out to told me they packing your order, but I don't think it's going to come. It's still going to come on Tuesday. And then something shifted, right? And when I showed Andy, he was like, yeah, I told you all you had to do was believe it. So what I did, right, this is still going with the person who said their mind is stopping them. Y'all still with me? Because I'm about to drop a bar. If you still with me, drop I'm here. If you're still with me, drop I'm here. And let me know if I'm freezing or anything. Because like I said, my internet had cut off and everything, and I don't know if it's still Gucci. So let me know. You still with me? Let me know before I drop this bar. Let me check something really quick. All right. Kayla said, yeah. I want at least 5 people to tell me. Okay. Stevie, Squads T, perfect. Okay, because on my end, it just glitched a little bit. And then I saw some people drop. Okay. Cool beans. All right. So for the person who said that they realized that their mind is stopping them from getting to their desired life, their mind is making up all of these excuses in their head, right? Your mindset and what you believe becomes reality. The fact that I kept believing that there was a way that my package could get here on time. There's a way. It's going to happen. And even if it didn't get here on time, I still believe that I'm going to look fly regardless. And guess what? I found all alternatives on Amazon. I ordered everything. Like, I spent $300 and something on Amazon. They're all here already. But my Fashion Nova package came like 15 minutes before this live. So guess what? Now I got the original stuff I ordered, and I got the stuff I ordered on Amazon, and I got the stuff that I pulled out my closet, right? I got all of these options now. I could try it on, and I could go ahead and last minute pack like I always do. And I am going to look amazing. But what helped me is the mindset. Imagine if I had the mindset of making excuses, I wouldn't have given myself the room to actually think of a backup plan, which was shopping on Amazon. First of all, I wouldn't have even taken responsibility for my actions because I'm so busy blaming my environment for something that's not happening. Take accountability and know that you control the thoughts in your mind, and your mind controls what happens in reality. So now let's see what some other stuff that y'all said, right? So my mom said, I realized I can't get to my desired life because of my excuses. Jay McClinton said, I'm afraid to fail. Eva said, I realized I'm not smart enough to start a business. Wait a minute, Eva, are you still here? Because we need to unpack, ma'am. Stevie said, it's my own fault. Kayla said, nothing else but my own excuses are holding me back. Gina said, a lot of rooms for excuses or short distance and few to none. Kiara said, I did it. I play too much. That's what I realized. You play too much. I'm confirming that. Stevie said, I've got some growth to do, excuses to stop making. Kayla said, the Lord is definitely with me. Yes, I'm interested. Okay, Kayla, I'm going to look your name up in the system. Your last name isn't Daniel, is it? If you don't mind letting me know your last name, or at least like the first 3 letters of your last name, so I could find you and then have them email you. The Found Empress said, I see without me making excuses. It's nothing but air and opportunity for me. Brandy said negative self-talk. Cheyenne said, my excuses are blocking me from my desired life. Malaysia said, is my excuse big enough to stop me from my desires, my dreams? It seems foolish to let the little things block you from the big things. Malaysia, yes, that is my exact point. I'm not kidding you, right? I wrote that down. Now that you see where you are in your desired life and you have this excuse in front of you, how silly do you feel knowing that you could attain everything that you wanted if you just stop making excuses? How silly do you feel? How more silly would you feel if years from now you looked back and you noticed, dang, I could have actually achieved this, or dang, I could have actually been here or there, but because I let this silly little excuse stop me, I let the fact that I was $100 short stop me when I could have made that $100 somehow, some way, whether it meant borrowing, whether it meant Ubering, whether it meant just making a shift and not eating out for the next week. I could have made a way to make this investment in whatever it may have been. Sometimes the investment may not be a program. It may be inventory, right? You stopped yourself from making a certain investment, and now years down the line, you're like, wait a minute. It's been 3 years and I done spent $100 more like every single week since then. So when I look back in hindsight, I've spent over $15,000 and I'm chuckling at the fact that I made me being $100 short from something stop me from possibly sitting on multiple 6 figures. Now let's talk about something other than finances. How silly would you feel if you let excuses stop you from getting in rooms that could unlock bigger rooms for you? There are doors that God is waiting to open for you, but guess what? You keep running into the wall so much that you can never make it to the actual door. Ain't that crazy? You run yourself into the wall so much that you never make it through the actual door. I just told Kayla, someone who bought a different, like a mini class pretty much, called the startup, I forgot what it's called, startup bundle. She told me that she bought it last year and she just started viewing it this year. Ironically, she's on this live and I literally just told her, however much you spent on that, I'll turn it into a coupon code and discount your enrollment into the Ultimate Launch course. Kayla seems like she has lacked a little bit of accountability, right? And Kayla, if you're on here, you can let me know. She seems like she lacks some accountability, which is why it took her a year to even look at that lesson that she bought from me. She seems like she may lack a community that is going through similar things as she is, which with the Ultimate Launch course, you get that group dynamic of people who are actually working on their launch or relaunch with you. It seems like she could benefit from something more structured, which is what the Ultimate Launch course is. So her being here on this live is not by coincidence, right? God just led her to a door, and it's up to her if she's going to walk through it or not, or if she's going to run into a wall and then not jump at the opportunity. What Kayla said is like, oh yeah, I'm doing it. Now, whether or not she does it is on her. If she does it, she walked through the door. If she doesn't do it, she let a wall stop her from a door that was wide open for her. So there's so many doors that could be open for you, but you keep running into the walls, y'all. We got to stop that. It's silly, right? And so I want y'all to let me know in the chat box or in the comments if you're watching this on a replay or if you're watching the podcast version. Let me know in the chat box, what are some excuses you have made? Let's be specific. What are some excuses you have made from making an investment into yourself or your business? What are some excuses you've made? Put it in the chat box. What are some excuses that you've made? Put it in the chat box. I want to see what some of the excuses are that you have made. Valerie said, am I late? Yeah, Valerie, but it's good. You can watch the replay, but still stay though. We got some good stuff. Kiara said, I needed this so much. Kayla said, don't be like me. Yay, Kiara, I'm glad that it's helping. Yes, don't be like Kayla. Stevie said, I'm so excited for you and to hear how everything goes. Oh, she's talking to Kayla. Okay, Norman, got it. Let me write it down. Kayla, Norman. All right, let's see. Drop your excuses in the chat. And then after you drop your excuse, I should have had y'all do it at the same time. But after you drop your excuse, drop what your desired life is in the chat. I'm going to work with some of your excuses and help you get through them. Okay, so drop your excuses and then drop your desired life in the chat. Let's see. Does it have to do with money? Does it have to do with time? I saw someone mention trust. Let's see. Drop your excuses in the chat. Don't be scared. And then drop what your desired life looks like. Oh, Stevie said, I'm excited for Kayla too, but that was directed towards you for your trip. Oh, thank you, Stevie. I just assumed the way that it came in my chat, it looks like it was right after Kayla, so I thought it was that. Right, that I know that Eva earlier said that she's not smart enough, so is it lack of knowledge? Let me know. Oh, Jamela said imposter syndrome. Okay. Let me see that. Oh, Cheyenne said, I'll do it later. That's your excuses. Oh, so like you don't have the time right now, you put it off. Cool beans. Let me see. Drop some of those excuses in the chat. Lack of money and distrust. Kayla said, I wrote my excuses. Hold on, let me go up. My excuses: I give up too easily. I'm not consistent, no discipline, letting perfection overcome me, wanting to start on the first month or a Sunday. Whenever I fall off, not being consistent, I feel like I have to start everything over again, getting upset when I don't meet my goals, distractions. Woo, a lot. Okay, let's talk about some of them, right? Let's talk about that. So when I look at some of the excuses that you guys are putting in the chat box, it's three main things, right? It's three main things that I'm grouping it into. Let's talk about the trust thing first, as well as not being educated enough to do something. Do you think that the billionaires that exist today are the smartest people in the world? Do you think that? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, do you think the billionaires that exist today are the smartest people in the world? Yay or nay? People who are making millions of dollars, billions of dollars, worth billions, are they the smartest people in the world? Ask yourself. Millionaires and billionaires aren't the smartest people in the world. Right? Kayla said no, exactly. They're not the smartest people in the world. See, the difference between a millionaire or a billionaire and you is that they're using their resources to their advantage. They're also placing themselves in positions to win. And sometimes winning means that they luck up. I recently started watching a interview, if you want to call it that. It's called A Really Good Podcast, right? And she had Mark Cuban on there. Mark Cuban is a billionaire. If you watch Shark Tank, you know exactly who Mark Cuban is. It's Andy and I's favorite shark on Shark Tank. He's a billionaire. She asked him, what did it take you to get to where you're at? He said, it's going to take you hard work to get to $1 million, but strategic hard work. And then to get to $1 billion, it's all about luck. When Mark said that, I wasn't taken aback because I know that's the truth, right? When it comes to you getting to $1 million, right? It's all about the strategic work that you put in. Same thing for getting to your first 6K. It's all about the strategic work that you put in. It doesn't mean that you are extremely intelligent. It's about using your resources to your advantage and then putting in strategic work, taking strategic action based on what you learn from those resources. So for the people who make excuses about not knowing enough or being too dumb to start a business, or you're not qualified, you don't have the resources are right in front of you. If you can invest in a program or someone to work with directly, do that. If you can't, start off with a book or something else to level up your mindset, and at least for you to see small wins to then invest in that bigger thing. Now, when he says that to get to $1 billion, it took luck, that means that once you unlock certain levels for yourself, you are now placed into rooms, and by luck, things start happening to you. You start being placed into certain groups that are making decisions that are like, oh, invest in this or do this, or this is up and coming, you should do this. And then you end up lucking up and becoming a billionaire. That's literally what happens. So for those that have the excuse of not knowing how, not having not trusting people, not knowing where the resources are coming from, you're on this live right now because you have some sort of connection to me. So if you have been telling yourself time and time again that you don't trust somebody, technically you kind of trust me, right? Earlier I saw that Stevie said, I did the free trial of, I'm guessing, the eHustle Club. And then something about a wedding, right? She said she's planning a wedding, and so she backed out. The fact that she went and invested in the eHustle Club or started the trial means that there's some connection that she has with me. But what happened with her is she thought, oh, okay, I don't have the time because I'm planning a wedding, or I don't have the money because I'm planning a wedding, so I'm going to back out. Let me tell you something, Stevie. After your wedding, life is going to slap you in the face, and it's all about how you prep before the wedding to set yourself up to be good afterwards. So remember that. And when it comes to trust, look at what's in front of you. Once again, look at the doors that are in front of you and pay attention to the doors that you are not walking through. Pay attention to the walls next to those doors that you continue to run into when it comes to lack of trust, no resources, all the things. Now, when it comes to the second biggest thing, or actually the first one wasn't that big. The second one is bigger than the first one. Let's talk about time. Somebody mentioned they don't have the time for it. Cheyenne mentioned that she's putting off things all the time because she doesn't have the time right now to focus on investing in something, right? She's saying all of this. And if you're someone who you struggle with finding the time, or you think you don't have the time to invest in something, let's say you're launching or relaunching and you're like, I don't have the time to dedicate to this program. I don't have the time to dedicate to this launch program. You make the time for what you want to make the time for. I go on an international trip tomorrow. I have yet to pack. I know what I'm packing, but I have yet to pack. I still have a store run to make to get some essentials, but yet I made the time to show up here tonight because I wanted to. You make the time for what you want to make the time for. You have 24 hours in a day. Even if that means you have to divide all of the modules and lessons up into increments where you're only watching half a lesson a day, do that. Even if that means you can only work on it on the weekends and you're going to dive into as many lessons as you can on the weekends and fill out all the templates and submit things for audit on the weekend, do that. Time is at your disposal. In a sense, all you have is time, but then in another sense, you don't have time, right? In the same sense. So it's about the strategy that you use to take advantage of your time. You say you don't have time, yet you make the time to binge watch Netflix. The 3, 4, 5 hours that you spend on Netflix every other day could be spent watching the lessons within the Ultimate Launch course, or working on your business in some degree, working on bettering your mindset or bettering yourself in some degree. When it comes to a lot of things, I can say that I don't have time for it, but it's all about how you prioritize your time. You make the time for what you want to make the time for. As I was getting my hair done, I had my laptop on my lap. I'm working, she's doing my hair. She was doing my hair for 5 hours. Not only that, but we were watching insightful videos on YouTube, pouring into our minds. I introduced her to 2 podcasts that she never heard of before. That she was like, oh my goodness, I actually want to be friends with you because I need to level my mind up. We talked about people who are in my circle that I know that are doing great things. And she's like, I want to hang out with you. Then guess what else? I took a call with someone who is potentially going to be my new accountant. I had this call on speaker for 45 minutes. And as she was braiding my hair, she was like, After I hung up the call, she said, I thought that call was going to be so boring, but it was so interesting and so insightful. The fact that you are sitting here saying that you fell off track this year and falling off track for you was making less than 30 grand a month is inspiring. The fact that I'm over here trying to maintain 5,000, 7,000 a month with my business, and you're over here saying that you're not doing enough because you fell short of 30,000 is crazy to me. So hearing you talk to this lady and hearing you guys strategize on how you're going to make $1 million in 12 months is insightful to me, right? I want to be around you more and pick your brain. I want to be able to be in this environment, right? But the reason I brought that up is because I'm sitting there doing my hair. I could have just been scrolling on social media. I could have just been texting a whole bunch of people, but I took advantage of my time, put on an insightful podcast, well, two insightful podcasts, had a whole conversation with an accountant, and then had my laptop doing work. I made the time for what I want to make the time for. So now ask yourself, how much time are you wasting every single day doing something that's not actually pushing you forward? I want you to take an audit of what you do daily. Sit down and write down what you did all of last week, Sunday through Saturday. Write down how much time you think you spent on that thing. And then if you have a highlighter, grab a highlighter. I want you to grab green and then any other color. Everything that progressed your mindset, or everything that put money in your pocket, or anything that actually, took you one step closer to your goals or your desired life, I want you to highlight that in green. Everything that did the opposite, you're going to highlight in the other color. And I want you to take an audit, right? Kind of like taking an inventory of your time and see where your time has been spent. A tool that I used to use to do this is called My Hours. And I believe it's myhours.com. And they also have an app for it. And what I used to do is punch the clock. Whenever I would start doing something else, I would punch the clock. And then I would stop the clock when I'm done doing it. So if I was watching a movie, I punched the clock. If I was working on my business, I punched the clock. If I was hanging out with friends over brunch, I hate brunch, let's say dinner, I punched the clock. And then once I'm done, I can look at my full report for the week, for the month, and I can see where my time was spent. So if you're disciplined enough to do that, do that. But if not, just take an inventory of the past week and then highlight them. And then you let me know. And so if you already kind of know what you did last week, let me know what percentage you think you did tasks, or you performed tasks, or you did things that actually moved your mind and your business and your brand forward. What percentage of those things did you do? Did you spend any time moving your mindset and your brand and your business forward? I see some people saying, I definitely need to do a self-audit. You do. And that's one of the reasons I love using structured, because it's color-coded based on revenue driving activities for my business, admin things for my business, and then personal activities as well. As it relates to, not it switched. Hold on, y'all. I don't know what just happened. Y'all can see me again? Y'all can see me again? I think my camera overheated. Okay, what's the app? The app is called, the first one is called My Hours. On the App Store, I think it's Spica My Hours. And then the second app I use is called Structured. My Structured app, I have it on all of my devices, but Structured is only for iMacs. Okay. All right. So yes, take an inventory of your life, take an audit of the last week, and ask yourself how much time you actually spent towards doing something that will move the needle forward. And the next time you make an excuse about time, look at that audit, because you make time for what you want. You make time and time again to binge watch shows. You make time and time again to go out to eat. You make time and time again to do absolutely nothing, to take naps all day. You make the time. You may also make the time for other people because you're trying to be selfless as well, right? So you may make the time to do something for somebody else out of the kindness of your heart. But what you don't realize that you're doing is you're putting what they want and what they need in front of your dreams and goals time and time again. So take an audit of your life, and then you'll see that you have the time. Kayla, I have a personal question for you, Chanel. How can I ask you privately? There's no way to ask me privately on YouTube. I don't know what the question is about. What is it about? If it's about the course, you can email and they will tell me what the question is if it's for me privately. If it's not about the Ultimate Launch course, then you can DM me on Instagram. But what's the question about? Okay? So let me put some examples into perspective. And then I'm going to talk about the last thing. And then I think I got my message across after that, right? So the last thing when it comes to time, right? There's someone that's within the Ultimate Launch course right now from round 1 who has kids, and recently kids went on summer vacation. She very much could have spent her time or made the excuse that she wants to relax, she wants to take them on trips, and then she just wants to do nothing all day because she worked so hard throughout the school year. But instead, she decided that she's going to spend her summer break making an aggressive schedule to actually watch the lessons and do the things that the lessons are telling her to do. Like actually activate those strategies. She made the conscious decision to do that. And since she has saw the result of doing that, she now feels confident that there's an audience out there for her product that she's launching, for her brand that she's launching, because she had the time based off of her scheduling her time to connect with her audience and research them and do focus groups and all the things. So now she has this elevated confidence. She's also worked on her landing page. Now she has a landing page collecting names, email addresses, phone numbers, all the things. She's also started to develop what the products are. She also has developed packaging. She also has set up her automated emails for her launch. She also has created a content calendar that she recently put in the group for me to look over. She's done all of these things. Despite her not having time, she decided to use her time wisely instead. There's then another client of mine, Michelle, who she decided to invest with me at a higher level and work with me one-on-one through my VIP experience. She's a teacher. She was supposed to be going to her office hour days and things like that. And guess what? She's like, I will come and meet with you after my office hours. I will meet with you the day before when I'm supposed to be getting materials together, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to sandwich you in between me shopping for my materials for my kids, at my, for my students. And I'm going to sandwich you in between there, and we're going to get this work done because I want to make this happen. She made the time. Right now, I'm making the time. Me being here instead of being at Target, because now y'all gonna make me go to Walmart, and I don't like Walmart. I like going to Target, especially when it's for travel goods. Now I gotta go to Walmart. But I'm willing to do that because I decided to make the time to come and talk to you today. So if you are watching this right now, please don't make me talk in vain. Whatever it is that you're claiming that you don't have the time for, whether it's enrolling in the Ultimate Launch course, whether it's investing some other way in your brand and your business, whether it's just investing in your mindset, whatever you're saying that you don't have the time for, stop saying it. And if you keep saying it, you're going to make me upset because I just spent my time, my target time, talking to you for no reason. Now, the third and final excuse that I want to touch on is I want to talk about money. I saw a couple of people bring up money, they don't have the money for investing in their sales, in their business, in their program. The same way that you take an audit of your time, take an audit of your spending. If you're really good with budgeting, you already do this, but you may be overlooking something. You want to know how I know? We travel a lot, right? We travel a lot. Andy and I travel a whole lot. And what happens during the weeks when we travel a lot, we end up spending way more on eating out, right? We end up spending way more on eating out. The reason why we end up spending way more on eating out is because we are usually running around doing a whole lot, and obviously we got to eat, so we end up eating out. But then there's sometimes where we still have the time and we just are like, I just decide that I just want to eat out, right? We decide that we still just want to eat out. And then when we look at how much we spent over the past month on food and eating out, it's usually ridiculous, because what happens when we go out is we order appetizers, we order a drink every time we go out, or like wine or something. We then got the entree. If I'm not full and I make it to dessert, I order dessert. If not, we stop there. But the places that we go to, or at least the places that we try to venture over to, we end up spending at minimum $100, at minimum. On average, I would say that we probably spend maybe, I don't know, like 150, 170-ish on food in one establishment. If you're anything like me, you may be spending, $150, or maybe you're spending less than that and you're spending $75. But you're spending that $100, that $75 3 times a week. When you do the math, spending $100 3 times a week is $300. Spending $50 a week is $150. So let's do math real quick, right? If you had an investment in front of you that was $997, let's just call it a stack. Let's call it 1,000. And there's typically 4 weeks in a month. You eat out 3 times a week. And on average, you spend, let's do $50, right? You do realize that you're spending $150 each week. And if you put that full month of eating out into a stash, you would actually have $600. And as long as you did that, like a few more weeks the next month, you would literally have the investment. Not only that, you do realize that payment plans exist, right? Afterpay exists, but not only that, when we talk about the Ultimate Launch course, it's 3 payments of $350. Those are monthly payments. If you look at how much you spend on food, you're spending $600 if you are on the lower end of $50 3 times a week. You have enough to invest in the payment plan level. But guess what? You aren't willing to actually cut back on your habit of eating out to get to the next level. You look at that line that we drew earlier and put food in the middle. How silly is it that you put going out to eat in the middle of you being a millionaire, in the middle of you making 6 figures, in the middle of you leaving your 9 to 5, in the middle of you traveling the world, in the middle of you saving up a trust fund for your child to do whatever they want in life once they grow up, in the middle of you sponsoring vacations for your family to help create memories? How silly is it that you put brunch, mimosas, steak in the middle of your ultimate desire? When in reality, if you just cut out eating out for a month or two, heck, even if you just cut it down, you have the ability to invest 1,000 and even more than 1,000 in whatever that investment is. In this case, we're talking about the Ultimate Launch course. You have the money to invest in the Ultimate Launch course to get you to that point. Right? Y'all with me? So when people make the excuse of money, that's one of the ways that you can look at it. You can cut down your spending. You can actually take an audit of what you're spending. But then what I really want you to ask yourself is, do you really not have the money? Or are you scared to put in the work and get the reward of what's on the other side of that investment. I'm going to ask you that again. Are you really saying that you don't have the money, or are you really saying that you're scared of putting in the work to make sure that that investment actually reaps the benefits that you are looking for? What I find is that it's not a money thing. It's not how much it costs. It's a you thing. It's because you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe in your ability. You don't believe in your commitment. You don't believe in your consistency. You don't believe in any of the things. So guess what? Even if this program was $100, you don't believe in yourself to put in the work to get whatever the benefits of the program is. Right? You don't believe in yourself. It's a risk and reward type of scale. Every day you make risk because you think that the reward is greater than the risk. But for some reason, when it comes time for you to make a risk, which is in the form of an investment for your business or to better your life, you run away from it. If we talk about the food example, when I go to a restaurant, I don't know if it's going to be good that day. I don't know if it's going to be good that day. So when you go to a restaurant and you decide that you're about to spend $150 on dinner, that food could be nasty, right? That food could be disgusting. But you have made the commitment to invest whatever that food costs because you think that it's going to be rewarding to eat that food, right? You think that you getting your belly full and being full for a few hours is worth the $150 that you spent on that meal. Let's do something else, right? Let's talk about hair because I got my hair done today. My hair costs, I think, $350, right? I spent $350. I committed, I paid a deposit, and I had to pull the cash out to pay her in cash when she got here. I could have not liked my hair when she did it. Because, you know, you go to the salon or you go to the person. She came to my house, right? She did my hair. I sat down for 5 hours. Had her spend her time doing my hair. I could have looked in the mirror and hated it. That's risk versus reward. If you order bundles and you spend $500 on bundles or $500 on a wig, you can very much not like it when it comes to you. But you have put the reward higher than the risk because you're like, okay, well, I know that I need to look good for my birthday. And I mean, this hairstyle look like it's going to look good, or these bundles look like it's going to be right. So let me go ahead and invest the $500 in it. Let's talk about traveling since I'm traveling tomorrow, right? Every time you step foot in a car, a bus, a train, a plane, whatever, you are risking not making it to your destination. I'm sorry to go there, but you're risking not making it to your destination, right? Let's say you're going to spend time with your family. Let's say this is the holidays and you're going somewhere for Black Friday to kick it with your relatives, right? You could very much not make it to whatever city, state, country that it is that you are getting on that plane to make it to. But guess what? When you thought about the family time that you're going to spend, when you thought about the food that you're going to eat from that great auntie of yours that throws down, when you thought about the memories that you're going to create, that reward outweighed the risk of you getting on the plane. Does that make sense? Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So when you say to yourself that, oh, you don't have the money, when you make that excuse, think about it. Are you really just scared that you're not going to put in the work in order for the reward to come to fruition? Because the only difference between a business investment and all of these investments that you make every day of your life is that this one takes a little bit more work. On the plane, you got to buy the ticket, make it through TSA in time, not pack anything crazy, and then sit on the plane and it's the pilot's job to get you to where they're getting you. But when it comes to a business investment, after you make the investment, the work actually starts. There's no chilling there. It goes up a notch. You have to commit to showing up. You got to commit to executing. You got to commit to learning, first of all, and then executing what you learned. You then got to commit to carrying out the full action plan that you put together thanks to what you learned. So once again, ask yourself, is it really that you don't have the money? Or is it really that you do not think that the reward is going to be big enough based on the level of work that you're going to put in? Crazy, right? You didn't think about it that way, right? The way that I look at every investment, especially when it comes to my brand and business, I think about how much more money am I going to make from this, or how is this going to change my life? Investing in the mastermind that I'm going to tomorrow, that costs $10K for me to go to, a lot of y'all would have choked at $10K. Y'all are choking at $997 or 3 payments of $350. So I know that you would have choked at $10K, but some of y'all earlier said that it is priceless. You would definitely want to be in a room full of people who are making 6 figures a month, right? When it came to me making that investment, I'm not thinking about how much I'm going to quote unquote lose right now. I believe in myself. I believe in my work ethic. I believe in my mindset. Even when I am bouncing back from a time where I wasn't my personal best, I believe in my ability to level my own self up. And I believe in my ability to execute even when it seems overwhelming. So I'm going to show up to this mastermind. I'm going to soak in all of this information. I'm going to make all the connections that I can possibly make. I'm going to use all the opportunities that I could possibly use up, whether it's just a cute outfit for a picture or a video, or whether it is me creating a full-blown friendship at this mastermind. I am going to do that. That is called putting in the work. So that way, when I come home with my action plan, I have the confidence to execute. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to do it. So I'm going to make that investment back and then some. I'm going to make that investment back times freaking 100 when I think about it, in the lifespan of my business. But immediately within the next month, I'm going to make that $10K back and then some. I'm going to make 3 times as much minimum come September. And you can mark my words on that, right? And so I said all this because people think that their excuses are reasons just because they're saying them, right? You think that your excuses are reasons just because you're saying them. The only difference between a reason and an excuse, and this is legit pulled from definition, so I'm going to read it verbatim for you. And excuses are used to avoid responsibility. We shift blame to a circumstance or a person who caused a certain failure when we make excuses. When we make excuses, we are usually focused on everything and everyone else but ourselves. We're unwilling to take responsibility for our own decisions and actions that contributed to the failure. Everything that I said during this live episode, everything that I said during this Hustle Talks episode, every example that I gave where I was met with the opportunity to make an excuse, what did I tell you? I took responsibility. What else did I tell you? I didn't blame not one soul, not one dog, not one thing. What else did I tell you? I told you that I made action plans to combat from all the things. There has been a multitude of things that have happened recently that I could have let be roadblocks to wherever it is that I'm headed. But I chose to not make those things excuses. Right? So I want you to write in the comment box right now, I am committed to not making excuses. Write that out. I'm committed to not making excuses in the chat box. If you are committed to cutting out the excuses and doing what it takes to get you to your desired life, put that in the chat. I'm committed to not making excuses. Because after tonight, I don't want you to make excuses anymore. I need you to shift your mindset. I need you to stop putting blame on other people. I need you to take responsibility for your actions. I need you to take responsibility for your success. If nobody else does it, who's going to do it? You. You're the only person that can get yourself to a level of success. You have to decide that you are committed to not making excuses. You're committed to showing up. You're committed to doing all the things that are going to get you from where you are right now to where you actually want to be. All right, put I am committed to not making excuses. Write it down somewhere too. I am committed to not making excuses. I am committed to not making excuses. Hey, Ebony. I'm committed to not making excuses. Okay, let me share my screen again. I want to see some more people saying I'm committed to not making excuses in the chat. I'm committed to not making excuses. Ooh, this is cold. Let me screen share real quick. And I'm about to spend maybe 10 more minutes on here because I got to go because Walmart closed at 11. So I'm going to put this chart back on the screen. Remember where you are, where you want to be, and that your excuses are stopping you from getting there. Right? Where you are, where you want to be, and that your excuses are stopping you from getting there. I also want y'all to know that everything is working against me right now. My camera keeps shutting off, but I'm still here. Okay, so right, I am committed to not making excuses in the chat. I don't see enough people committed to not making excuses, but I am committed to not making excuses. Now, for my people who are in here that haven't launched yet, ask yourself what's stopping you from launching. What's stopping you from launching? And when you ask yourself that, ask yourself, is it an excuse? And will I let this excuse morph into something big enough to stop me from where I actually want to be? Am I going to let this excuse become a roadblock from my desired life? So what's stopping you from launching? Was the money stopping you from launching? Was the time stopping you from launching? Was the resource stopping you from launching? And if you want to, you could put it in the chat what was stopping you, but I'm pretty sure I know from earlier, right? So whether it was money, time, trust, the resource, all the things, don't make that an excuse anymore to stop yourself from launching this brand that you have been dreaming about for the past few months, the past few years. Do not let it stop you. And then for my people who maybe failed at their first launch, ask yourself what's stopping you from relaunching and actually trying again. Why are you so gun-ho on giving up versus just figuring out what you did wrong, getting the support to help you do it right, and going for it the second time around? Right? So for my people who are wanting to relaunch or failed at their first launch, what's stopping you from relaunching? Is it confidence because you don't know how? That goes with the resource excuse that we talked about. Is it lack of time? We talked about that. Is it lack of money? We talked about that. Whatever excuse that it is. I see somebody said the work was stopping me. Make the time, do the work, be committed. If you are not willing to do the work, you are not meant to be an entrepreneur. Point blank, period. Same thing goes with anything that comes with entrepreneurship, content creation, any of the things. You got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to commit the time to show up. You got to be willing to commit the energy, the effort, the money, all of the things. Okay? Now, if I offered you the blueprint to launch or relaunch, would you take it? Let me know in the chat. If I offered you the blueprint to launching or relaunching, would you take it? Would you take it? Would you be like Kayla earlier that hopped on it? Would you take it? Let me know, yes or no. Yes or no? If I gave you the blueprint to launching or relaunching, would you take it? All right, I see some people saying yes. I see some people saying yes, right? And so, why haven't you taken it yet? Because I have the blueprint. I saw Sash ask, what about the blueprint for after you launch? That's funny that you asked that, because I'm about to tell you all about the Ultimate Launch Course and what comes with it. And Sash, one of the cool things is that for the people who sign up for the Ultimate Launch Course, you actually have the opportunity to attend my intimate event that's happening in October. That's all about what I did for my biggest launch, which was 45,000 thus far, and also what I did for my first launch and how I was able to create a sustainable brand, a profitable brand from launching right the first time. So I actually give you the tea on all of that and give you the blueprint and all of that, okay? Stevie said my daughter is saying yes. So I give you the blueprint, y'all. The blueprint is literally my program, the Ultimate Launch Course. I give you step by step how you can go from being an aspiring entrepreneur or someone who failed at their first launch or their first 2 launches. And I teach you how to execute a revenue generating launch strategy in 90 days or less. You are able to learn all of the details about building a brand, and you're given the step-by-step strategy on how to launch the right way the first time around. I give you all of what you need and none of what you don't. There's no fluff in this. From sitting through my videos on YouTube, from sitting through my lives, I don't give fluff at all. So just imagine how impactful it would be to actually be in the Ultimate Launch Course and get the exact blueprint, right? Imagine how impactful it would be, right? And so let me tell you what you find inside. So inside, there's 10 modules. And it's split up based on the way that I teach launch. There's pre-launch, live and launch, post-launch. Those are the 3 phases. But before we get into the 3 phases, we do a little bit of pre-work where we build your mindset, because mindset is a powerful thing, like I said. But then we also strengthen your business idea and develop your brand's unique edge and identify your audience. Then we get to the pre-launch stage where we focus on building excitement. We want your audience to be excited when you launch. So you learn social media tactics, email tactics, and paid tactics to grow your email list, your SMS list, get people excited, get them ready to actually shop with you. Then in modules 6 through 8, we tap into the live launch phase. In the live launch phase, you learn all about automation. That way you can make money when you sleep. So Sash asked again, what about after you actually launch? Guess what? Even throughout the program, you're setting up things that will work for you even after you launch. Those automations don't go away. Those are automations that you use in your business for an eternity. You can continue to improve them, but guess what? You are able to set them up with a hand-given blueprint. Then modules 9 and 10 talk about the post-launch phase. What do you do after launch? How do I use what happened during my launch to actually move forward in business. In the post-launch stage, we talk all about data and how it connects to your brand so that way you can make decisions to move forward in your first year of business. In addition to these 10 modules, if you join the Ultimate Launch Course Round 2, you actually get the opportunity to add on a ticket to the event that's happening live in Atlanta, Georgia. And in that event, like I said, I'm breaking down my biggest launch to date, and I'm telling you how I set myself up in my shoe boutique to run after that launch, and also how I set myself up in this business to run and be generating close to $1 million, right? And so this program will teach you how to secure launch sales. We've had people see $1,000 days. We've had people see 3,000 a week. We've had people surpass 50 orders in 2 weeks. We had people make goals of just generating $100 on their launch day, and they did nearly 3 times as much and made $274. We had people close out their launch day with $500 in sales, and if you do the math, it only takes $300 a day to make $100,000 a year. So this program gives you everything that you need and none of what you don't to be able to secure launch sales your first week of launching. Right? And so when it comes to what the program is built to do, you are going to be able to learn how to execute your very own launch marketing strategy plan. You're going to learn how to build anticipation and hype so that way customers are begging for your products instead of you begging for them to shop. You're also going to learn how to set strategic goals that will help you launch successfully and scale in the future. You're going to learn how to create a bulletproof brand. Everything that I do is rooted in brand. And if you are relaunching, you're going to learn all the things that you did wrong the first time and how to correct those things and do it right this time around. So in addition to securing launch sales, you're going to see email list growth, right? You're going to see email list growth because you learned those tactics in there. You're going to see social media growth because you learned that in the Ultimate Launch course as well. And so earlier I mentioned that everyone that signed up for the Ultimate Launch course for round 2 thus far has paid in full. This is the reason why they've paid in full. They've paid in full because when you pay in full, you gain access to 6 monthly Q&A and audit sessions with me. That's where I look over everything that you've done, whether it's a content strategy, whether it's an email, whether it's you mapping out your target audience, and I actually give you feedback and I type on it. Like I'm fixing it for you, right? It's like a coaching session, like all bundled in one. You also get the ability to ask me as many questions as you want. Then you also get a one-on-one strategic jumpstart call with me. For you, if you are wondering how you'll find the time, how you'll make it work, we can talk about that on your strategic jumpstart call. Or if you already got that down pat and you want me to tell you whether or not this is a great idea and if you should switch or how to really just make the best use of the program, that's what we talk about on that jumpstart call and whatever else it is that you want to talk about. Right? And so when you sign up for the Ultimate Launch course, you get access to the 10 modules, you get worksheets and templates that are made for you so that all you have to do is plug and play. You get access to the group networking chat. You get access to co-working sessions and live refresher sessions, right? Live refresher sessions are where if something is happening in the world and I feel like you should know about it, we're going to talk about it. So for example, one of the topics that we're talking about in round 2 is going to be how AI can affect your launch. And there's going to be a refresher lesson on that because that's happening right now. I want you to be prepared in real time. Co-working sessions gives you the accountability. For some of you who start and stop or don't start at all, you have the accountability where you are going to be able to work with one another and myself. We're going to co-work together. The cool thing about round 2, I'm building out a new brand as well, and you're going to see me. I share my screen when I co-work a lot of times. I share my dry erase board. You're going to see me doing exactly what I've taught you to do, and you're going to see that I'm executing and using the exact steps, and you're going to see how my mind works, right? And so if you go to the Ultimate Launch course website right now, it's going to say that it is $11.97 to sign up. But for this Hustle Talks episode, I created a discount code, right? I created a discount code, and the discount code is just Hustle Talks, all caps, no space. And it's going to knock the price back down to the original price, which was $9.97 or 3 payments of $350. Okay? So it's going to knock it down to the original price if you use the code Hustle Talks in all caps. Now, what I will tell you is that this code expires tonight. So we're all about people who are going to take action, right? So if you know that this is something you need, if you dream of having a successful business, a profitable brand, a successful launch, if you dream of making thousands of dollars within your launch period and not having to, waste a lot of time and a lot of money for it. If you want the blueprint on how to do this thing right, you're tired of relying on Google, you're tired of relying on YouTube, you just want my brain on a platter, this is perfect for you. Ask yourself, how much are you willing to invest to get all of the answers that you have been struggling with? How much are you willing to invest to get all of the answers to the questions that have been badgering your mind day in, day out? How much are you willing to invest? $9.97 is a no-brainer. Heck, for this program, depending on how big your goals are, your goal may be to make $50K your first year. You're going to laugh at $9.97 when you look at $50K. Your goal may be to have a 6-figure business. You're going to laugh at $9.97 when you are making 6 figures. When you're making multiple 6 figures, you're going to laugh at that investment. And the cool thing about the Ultimate Launch Course, because we talk a lot about brand and we talk a lot about strategy, you're learning the how behind everything. You're going to be able to use this time and time again. So the code is Hustle Talks. Go to yourultimatelaunch.com. It's been on the screen. It's in the chat box. It's going to be pinned in a comment. It's going to be in the description box. Use the code Hustle Talks and it will knock $200 off and make it $9.97 or 3 payments of $350. But the code does expire at midnight, and that is no exaggeration. It is automatically set up to expire. So if you have been on the fence about joining the Ultimate Launch Course, about spending 6 months with me, are you insane? In an environment where you can ask me any questions that you want, you get my brain, you get the templates, you get all the things. Now is your opportunity. Take advantage of it. Not only that, but we kickstart this thing this week, okay? So we are kickstarting it this week, which means enrollment is closing this week. So don't play with yourself. Like, don't sleep on your potential and stop playing with yourself. This is what you need to launch. This is what you need to relaunch. This is what you need to build a brand the first time around, okay? So do we have any questions about what I talked about tonight or about the Ultimate Launch Course at all? And I actually am going to start shouting out all of my paid in full people, all the people who signed up, period, but everybody has been paid in full. So I'm going to start shouting those people out on my story tomorrow while I travel. I got some cute templates made. And I'm going to ask the students who signed up thus far to send me their picture if they can. So I'm going to be shouting them out on my story tomorrow. And so if you want to be one of those people who I'm shouting out and who I'm following and all the things, then, make sure that you go ahead and sign up, because you are going to feel sick, okay? You're going to feel silly when you see all the people who have signed up thus far for the Ultimate Launch Course Round 2, and you had the opportunity to do it with a code, and you didn't take the opportunity. So any questions about what I talked about tonight or about the Ultimate Launch Course? Kayla, I saw it. I saw it already. I'll respond. Any questions at all? Let me know. Yolanda, how can someone living outside the U.S. participate in your course? There's no limitations to where you live. In round 1, we had people who were international. In round 2, we already have 2 people that are international. So it doesn't matter where you live. It's online, and we all start together, but you have access to all of the lessons and modules on your own dashboard. So you can do it at any pace after we kickstart it. So if you are in a different time zone, for example, it really doesn't matter because you're going to be working on your own time. And then the group chat is something that, we'll always see. So we'll always see it. So whether you're working at what's 4 a.m. for us and maybe 8 a.m. for you, like, we'll be able to respond and you'll be able to see it. Like, it doesn't matter where you live. You can participate in the US, outside the US, anything. Anything, anywhere. Any other questions? Any questions about anything that we talked about tonight? I'm going to give y'all like 2 minutes. Let me see if anybody has questions. Yolanda said, great. Yes, Yolanda. Hoping to see you in the course, okay? Hoping to see you in the Ultimate Launch course. Any other questions? Stevie, let me see what you were saying earlier. I was missing some of what you were saying. Let me see. I'm committed to not making excuses. I'm hearing you for sure. Or you can get sick from the food. Yes. When you go out to eat, you can definitely get food poisoning. I've been tracking my budget. Eating out gets me every time, Cheyenne said. I spend a lot of time on the computer and leave with no accomplishments. Valerie said, I want to take your class, but I won't be able to until December or January because that's when I start working due to maternity leave. Are you doing one-on-one classes then? One-on what? You talking about the program? The Ultimate Launch course? I don't know if Valerie's still on here, but if you are on here, Valerie, clarify what you are talking about for me. Or DM me on Instagram. So if you're on here, Valerie, DM me on Instagram and explain what it is that you're talking about. If you have any hesitations, if you have any quote unquote reasonings, aka excuses, or if you really have something that is a real concern about joining the Ultimate Launch course, you can email us back. So we send out emails. If you're on my email list, you can email us back at contact@thebrandhustler and we will respond. Or if you want to DM me personally so that way I can respond to you and help you work through whatever the obstacle is that's stopping you, you can DM me on Instagram @thebrandhustler and I'll help get you started. Okay, so this has been a great episode of Hustle Talks. I hope that you took something away from this. I hope that you will stop making excuses for yourself and start going after your dreams and not letting the walls get in between your way, okay? This was a great episode. I will see you guys next week, Monday. It won't look the same in here because I won't be here, but we are still going live next week. So I will see you next week, Monday at 8 p.m. for another live episode of Hustle Talks. And I'm about to run to Walmart. Bye. Have a great night, y'all.